Hello guys, it's Mayan and I'm here to show you how to make the Santa Claus figure that I had in my most recent cake. So let's look at the things that we're gonna need. Well, first we're gonna need red fondant. So for this color red, I recommend buying the pre-colored fondant, a ready-made fondant that's red. So you can get that from the brand would be Satin Ice, or you could just get the small packets from Wilton at your local craft store. We're going to need that, black, which I would also recommend getting it pre-made, because it's very hard to get it in this color if you're going to mix it. You can only get it in this, you can make it this deep red and this deep a black color if you're going to use the airbrush. If you're not, then virtually impossible to do that. I'm going to need white and a bit of pink and kind of a fleshy tone color. Wilton calls it natural pink. So you can also make this by using the copper gel color and using it very, very, very lightly, and some brown. Oh, no, the brown we're going to use for the reindeer. So those are the fondant. You're going to need a cutter, skewer sticks. You're also going to need a rolling pin and the fondant cutter from Wilton as well. So, well, first, if you're going to buy the fondant, I would recommend turning it into gum paste first. So for all figures, I always use gum paste. So you can turn your fondant into gum paste by mixing your fondant with tylose. You can get this online or at your local baking supply store. It's about $4. And well, this one I've already turned it into gum paste. So the first thing you're gonna do is to knead it well. Alright, so I just made 4 balls of the red gum paste, and what I want you to do is take one ball and kind of shape it into a rectangle, which is what we're going to use for his legs. Oh, okay. Use your cutter to cut this in half. And if it's not perfect, don't worry, because you need your fingers to smoothen the sharp lines and kind of make it appear more natural. So kind of flatten the very ends. And you know, how we make this is pretty much how you're going to make any other human figure. So just try it and kind of improve on the on the figure as you work along. Use a circular shaped tool and kind of make an indentation at the very bottom, so it's going to accept your shoes later on. And have him sit down, have him seated down on your foam, like so. And you can either use skewer sticks, or for those who don't want to use any inedible stuff on their figures, you can use uncooked pasta for this. Alright, so stick in there. Alright guys, now that we're done with making his pants, let's make the torso of Santa. I don't have that much red fondant, but if you do, use a bigger ball of gum paste, red gum paste. Then shape it into like a cone shape, kind of. And if you want to make his tummy bigger, you can use either your finger or another tool and just pinch it at the bottom and kind of shape it as you go. Alright. Well, we're not going to make him that big. Alright, so let's do this one. This is not really that smooth, but alright. Let's do that. And then it's okay if part of the stick is sticking out. Alright, then you also need 2 red gum paste balls, smaller ones, to make the arms. Just shape it into a cone shape again. Just use your fingers, make it a little longer, kind of estimate how much you would need. Do the same for the other one. And then use a gum paste shaping tool that's shaped like a ball, and just slowly do that. In working with gum paste, especially with the one I'm working on that cracks easily, you can see that my hands are just a bit shiny because it does have shortening on it. Shortening can save your gum paste if it's really cracking up or if it's really dry, you know, but it can only do that up to a certain point. If it's really hard, then say goodbye to your gum paste. Alright, we're going to do this because we're going to attach his hands there later on. Alright, so we measure a bit, they look fine. Alright, we're going to do that a little later. Let's shape it, and you can just put them aside. Alright, now we're going to do his head. Alright, when you've worked with red fondant, make sure that you clean up, wipe your hands, and clean up because the red pretty much gets into everything. Alright, so what I'm going to use for his head would be what Wilton labels as natural pink. You can use any color. I mean, you could use any skin tone color. You can make it darker, lighter, but this is what we have ready made, so this is what I'm going to use. Now, interestingly, for Santa, it doesn't have to be such a difficult thing to do because his head will not need to be shaped that much compared to other human figures, because his head will be pretty much defined by the beard, not by the shape of his head or by his nose or mouth, which is, you're not going to see that much anyway. Again, if you're experiencing cracks in your gum paste like I am right now, when you add shortening, kind of squeeze it in as you go. It helps with the cracks, and sometimes when you make figures, the cracks are really, really unsightly. You wouldn't want them there, especially if you're making faces and stuff. So make sure you get a smooth ball and place that on top of your Santa.